Hi, I'm Amy Saylor with the Connecticut Science Center. Every year, the Connecticut Science Center recognizes the achievements of STEM professionals and leaders in our state, especially those who share our mission to inspire lifelong learning through interactive and innovative experiences that explore our changing world through science. This year, we're happy to highlight just some of the 2020 nominees for the Connecticut STEM Achievement Awards. Today, I'll be joined by Miranda Wong, Materials and Processes Engineer for Pratt& Whitney. Hi, Miranda. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Amy. No problem.
Well, let me start by congratulating you on your nomination for the 2020 Connecticut STEM Achievement Awards. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be part of this process and to be selected as a nominee.
Great. Well, listen, let's start by talking about your way to a STEM career. Who and or what inspired you?
Oh, there's a lot of different things that inspired me. Growing up, I had two older sisters. I have two older sisters. All of us actually went into the STEM fields. Our parents always wanted us to pursue something in math or science. We all really enjoyed it. We also enjoyed the arts portion of it as well. So growing up, a lot of that tied in together for me. So how can you be creative, but how can you make advancements in technology? And luckily, my high school had an engineering class that they were piloting my junior year. And combined with that and my love of swimming, it really pushed me to look at what options I had in science and engineering. And swimming is a weird topic to bring into it, but I grew up swimming competitively. I did it throughout college, and it's really the swimsuits that fascinated me and sportswear. That's what drove me into materials science and engineering, is because I wanted to know what it was about products and materials that made things more efficient, made it better for the athlete. And then just being at school, taking the classes and interning. I interned with Sikorsky. It got me into the aerospace fields, and it really made me want to pursue something that could really help people and make lives better for people. So I really, that's what drove me to get into engineering.
Nice. You reminded me of a comment. A couple of years ago, we had our first Lego League Junior Expo, and the focus was engineering. And I remember a very young girl, maybe in the first or second grade at most, when she was asked, "What do engineers do?" She said, "They keep us safe." So you reminded me of that just then by your comments. So thank you for that reminder. And that's why engineers are so special. I mean, you really do. You think about things that we don't have to think about as we're going about our our daily lives. You do all the thinking for us. You do all the planning for us, and you make sure that we're gonna get to where we need to get to and get there safely. So thank you. Um, in addition to your work as a materials and processes engineer at Pratt, you created a group called Project STEM. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so that was with a couple other engineers in my department. It was really, I mean, when you create a group, you really need a strong backing. So we had a couple of people that were really interested in it, and we were able to push that forward. And some of us had been part of engineering ambassadors at school, which was a program and is still a program that's sponsored by UTC, now RTX, where we actually created hands-on activities. So we would create some sort of presentation on an engineering or science topic and come up with a hands-on activity to go with it. And we would go out to schools, from middle schools, high schools, in the areas where our colleges were located. And we would go into those classrooms for a day, and we'd go through, the students would come through all the different presentations we had, and they would take those presentations, tie it back to the hands-on activity, and it was a way to engage them to get more interested in engineering. And it's something that we wanted to continue doing while at work. We thought it was really important, and it was something that the company gave back to us while we were at school, and it's something that we felt that the company should continue doing. So we worked together as a team and really drove it, and we brought it to one of our executives, and we said, hey, we would really like you to support this initiative, and he was all for it. So it was really great to see that he was also passionate about trying to encourage the younger people in our area to be interested in what Pratt & Whitney does. Because, I mean, there's Pratt & Whitney is a big part of Connecticut, and
Sure.
It's important for people in the area to know, what we do and what we have to offer, and make sure we're supporting and giving back to our communities.
Thank you for sharing. I mean, that really is important work. It's work that's needed, and we join you in those efforts to build and support and engage and encourage the next generation of STEM professionals in our state. I understand that you also do work with youth entrepreneurship groups and mini invention groups. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so last year was my first year. I actually went to the National Invention Convention, which was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, and honestly made me jealous because I wish that there was something like that when I was younger. Um, and it was amazing to see all the different inventions that these kids had come up with, from kindergartners all the way through high school kids, seeing all their different ideas and how they went through the invention process with just an idea. And then, taking that idea, doing that research, and trying to come up with something on their own that they felt was important to them, which was really amazing to see. So part of that process, I was on a panel with another employee from UTC or RTX, as well as a young entrepreneur who was 14 at the time, I believe, and he invented his own app. So we were on this panel, and we talked to all the inventors the first day, and then just giving them advice. They had a lot of questions about, how to pursue science and engineering. And it was the same thing I told them. What I just told you was my story of how I was interested in engineering and science, and how they should take advantage of some of these opportunities that they have now, being a finalist in their state and then being able to advance on and compete nationally was incredible to see, and just their empathy and what they care about. One of the inventions that I thought was amazing was there was one girl where she had created an invention because her grandfather had Parkinson's and he had trouble eating. So she wanted to create an invention that he could slide his arm into to help stabilize his arm while he's eating, because her grandma would spend time taking care of him, but she also wanted her grandma to be able to relax and do all the other things that she had to do. So that was what drove her invention, which I thought was incredible to see. And she's a fourth grader. She's 10 years old, and it's really awesome to see that passion. And then this year, I actually just last week finished doing some online judging for the Connecticut Invention Convention. And part of Pratt & Whitney, I worked as a team with a couple other engineers, and we actually were helped select the finalists for some of the Pratt & Whitney awards that are given out for the Connecticut one. So it's really amazing to see, and I'm really excited because Nationals is coming up in a couple weeks, and then the online judging for that will start.
Nice. I'm excited that you're excited. Your enthusiasm, your enthusiasm for what you do really comes through, and it's great that you get to extend it to the extent that you do outside of your work at Pratt. You talked about teams of engineers. Talk to me about teamwork and why you think it's important. And the reason I ask is because a lot of people kind of have this sense of, scientists and maybe not so much engineers, but certainly people in the sciences being these, lone ducks, coming up with great ideas and, being holed away in a lab somewhere. So talk to me about your work with teams.
Oh yeah, teamwork is extremely, it's invaluable. The Nothing gets done by one person. You need people to help you think of different perspectives, help you think of things from different angles that you might have not thought about. So working from teams, even if not everyone has to be the same depth of understanding something that's technical, everyone has their own strengths. So bringing all those people together helps you weigh those different decisions that you have to make. So understanding the technical benefits, understanding the cost, understanding the risk, understanding schedule. So you really need to work as a team to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And ideally, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is making sure we're doing the best things for our customers. So you can't ever work as a single person. You won't get you very far. I work with different teams every day, so I have different groups of people that I work with constantly, and there's different projects, and I'm not the technical expert on every single topic. That'd be very difficult. So working together with people who I know understand the technical aspects to that depth is really important to help make different decisions.
Great, thank you for sharing that. And are you comfortable in your role as, being a female in an industry that is largely dominated by men? Are you, when you're on a team, how do you function in that
I've been
respect?
really lucky. I've always had a lot of support from my team, and I think especially now, because there's so many younger people working at Pratt now, especially. I mean, it's a level of comfort, but also being able to appreciate the mentorship and technical capabilities of the people that have been working there longer than us and have a lot of that experience. I think there's that balance there where there's an understanding, and I appreciate all the technical things that I don't know that I'm learning from the people who have all that experience. And in turn, they're accepting of some of the newer ideas that we have, and it's definitely a different workplace than it was years ago. But I feel the support all the day, every day, especially from my team and my group, my management. I definitely feel that support.
That's good to know, and it must be a real comfort and a joy to work in that kind of an environment day to
Yeah, I
day.
mean, yeah, when I was starting out in engineering, like the engineering class I mentioned, I was one of 3 girls in that class in high school. So I definitely felt, it was a little strange at first and everything like that. But I mean, going into school, it was the same thing. Not that many girls, not that many females, but I think you just have to stick with it, and there's going to be ups and downs, but you have to feel that confidence in yourself. So I've definitely felt more confidence now being in the workplace and being in the industry now for almost 6 years. It's been a lot of learning, but I feel comfortable in the workplace and with everything that we do in our department.
That's really encouraging to hear. So, what other projects are you working on, either related to or outside of your role at Pratt?
Um, oh, right now I'm working on, I'm just trying to get more involved with the Society of Women Engineers. It's a little bit harder now. I've always done outreach with them, so I would like to increase my involvement with that. A little difficult right now just because of everything
Mm-hmm.
that's going on. So that's one of them. Another one is just I'm an advisor to the Asian American Leadership Forum at work. It's one of our employee resource groups. So I have been part of that organization pretty much when I started working at Pratt & Whitney. I was on the board for a few years in different roles. So I was a social cultural chair for a few years. I was vice president, I was president, and I've been an advisor for the past 2 years. So we're always working on figuring out how we can act as a support for the employees there. You don't have to be Asian American to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a resource group where we're leveraging how our take on culture, our backgrounds, our experiences to share and just make people more aware. So we really focus on professional development, cultural workshops, as well as we help with recruitment and retention, and we also like to do different things with the community. So one of the things we recently started when I was president, we implemented a mentoring program where we've actually partnered with local colleges. So trying to reach out to some of those college students and create a mentoring relationship with them. That's one of the big initiatives that we've worked on in the past few years. And I'm really excited because one of my mentees in that program, she's coming to work for Pratt full time. So I'm excited about that.
That's great.
Yeah, and actually recently, the new president, Adriana, she's been doing a great job, and we've been helping advise her. She led an initiative to do a mask collection and donations for the COVID impacts as soon as this all broke out, and trying to send those donations to our partners in Asia. So as soon as this had started to hit China, she had pulled together a group of people and was working with different people at Pratt. We need to figure out who we can communicate and making sure that our employees in China were safe and that we were able to collect masks and any type of PPE that would help out.
Great. Well, Miranda, I really hope that your career continues to be as impactful and rewarding as it is right now. It sounds like you're having a great time. That's important. That's good stuff.
No, yeah, it's great. And I mean, the ALF has been a very great resource to making things really enjoyable. And it's also a way to get to know people because we have so many people working at Pratt. It's another way to build a connection to people and reach out in other areas that aren't necessarily tied exactly to what we do every day.
Sure. Well, I certainly hope to see you at the Connecticut Science Center sooner than later. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and sharing your story and your enthusiasm and your passion for what you do. And also, again, congratulations on your nomination.
Thanks, Amy. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you soon, too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.